Hi everyone, I'm Mark and this is the African Cichlid Hub. In today's video I'm going to be turning this Allpondsolutions open top tank into a Lake Tanganyika Shell Dwellers tank. Throughout the video you're going to see the different steps that I'm going to be taking to complete this process, and hopefully you might learn something by the end of the video. Now, for the people that have set up a shell dweller tank before, please stick around and I'll like some feedback at the end of the video. First thing that I'll do, I'll show you guys the tank that I'm going to be turning into a shell dweller tank, and then we'll go into the processes of setting the actual tank up. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, so let's have a better look at the actual tank that I'm going to be using in this video. This is the Allpondsolutions open top 90 litre tank. The dimensions are 23.5 by 13.7 by 17.7. and it holds a total of 90 litres. It's a perfect size for a Lake Tanganyika Shell Dweller tank. This tank at the moment is retailing for just under £300. It's a great deal because it actually comes with quite a lot of equipment, which I'll be talking about in a moment. So as you can see, I've already assembled the tank. The cabinet comes pre-set up, and then all you have to do is set up the filter that comes with it. The actual filter that comes with this tank is the 1000 EF Allpondsolutions filter. It also comes with a 200 watt internal heater. It also comes with a stick-on thermometer, and included with the heater and the filter and some other bits and bobs, the actual filter comes with bio balls, ceramic rings and activated carbon, as well with some filter pads inside the actual filter. So the next bit, I'll show you the filter all assembled inside the cabinet. Okay, so this is the Allpondsolutions 1000 EF filter that comes with this 90 litre open tank. Basically, to get this filter into the cabinet, you have to remove the glass or the tank at the top, and then there's a hole underneath the glass bottom piece, and then you just basically fit in the filter. So it's probably best to assemble all the tubing beforehand. And as you can see, the inlets and outlets go through the holes that are pre-drilled in the tank, and there's also a hole there for the electrical cable. Now, in order for me to seed this filter, I'm going to be taking out the glass tank and painting the background of that first, and then I'll be adding mature filter media from my existing Allpondsolution filters on my mature African Cichlid tank. So let's have a look at the lighting. Okay, so this is the T5 24 watt light unit that actually comes with the tank for the price. As you can see, it's suspended by two metal rods. Obviously you can see the bend there, and then some wire clipped into place. Actually suspends the light unit above the tank. When you're buying the tank, you can actually choose what type of 24 watt bulbs you want. So you can go for things like, marine white, two blues, some tropical lighting, depending on what you want to use. Now you can see the wiring goes behind the tank at the moment, but that could be clipped or it can be circled and then just somehow attached at the tops there. Okay, so here you can see how the light unit is suspended. Really easy to assemble, and once it's in place, it's pretty hard for it to move around, so don't worry about stability with it obviously being suspended over the tank. The actual light unit has two switches. One switch controls the two outside 24 watt bulbs, and the other one controls the two 24 watt bulbs that are in the middle of the lights, basically, so it's outside two and then the inside two. So in the middle two you could have something like the marine blue, so for night you can create something like the moonlight effect, and the outside will have the white, or you can mix it up depending on which type of light settings you want to have. So that's pretty much it for the overall look of the tank and how it's all set up and everything. Okay, so because the filter that came with the actual tank is brand new, none of the media is seeded or mature, so basically this means we can't add fish straight away. Normally you would have to go through the cycle process. Now, because I already have 2 Allpondsolutions running on my 600 litre African Cichlid tank, what I can do is swap out some of that media and put it straight into this filter. But that would mean that this filter then is basically seeded, meaning I can add fish to the water straight away. Now, it's quite tricky with this stand because the filter actually fits in through the top of the tank. So as you can see, I've taken the tank off and that's drying as I've painted it. So what I need to do is disassemble the filter, take the bottom half of the filter out, and then start adding the mature media from my other external filter. So in the next section I'll be showing you guys how I do that. Okay, so the filter on my left, obviously for your right, is a 1400 litre Allpondsolutions EF Plus filter, and I've had this now running on my tank for over 2 months. So all of the media inside here is all, basically it's all mature, ready to be exchanged. Now both filters, when you buy them, come with ceramic rings, bio balls and activated carbon, and they also come with filter pads that fit inside each tray. So all I'm going to be doing is taking out the new trays, and taking out the mature stuff and swapping over the mature media like the ceramic rings, the bio balls, and squeezing the filter pads inside the basically the gunk of the filter where the beneficial bacteria lives, and this will then seed the filter, making it mature enough to add fish straight away. Now this is going to be pretty messy process, so what I'm going to do is basically just cut this bit out, and then when I've done it all, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so as you can see, that is the new filter. And now it's got some of the water out of the mature filter mixed in with some of the tank water as well. And mature media over to both of these, to these trays. So as you can see, it's nice and mature in there, and each filter pad has been submerged in the mature water, whatever you want to call it, where the beneficial bacteria is living. So what I'll do now, get this attached quickly back to the tank, because you've got about an hour and a half before it starts dying off without being circulated through the tank. And fingers crossed everything goes to plan and we don't have any problems. Okay, for this shelly tank I've decided to go with a sandy substrate. Shell dwellers do better with a fine grained sand as substrate in regards to using large gravel or larger grains of coral sand. The actual sand that I've gone for is a product called B&Q Play Sand. Now, play sand, doesn't matter where you get it from, is notorious for clouding the tank. So I recommend you rinse the sand out for as long as possible until the water is running. Now I'm going to show you how I do it. As you can see, I've got the sand in a bucket and I've also got a hose. And what it is, the hose is just attached to my taps, and it's constantly running cold water. I'll show you the flow rate. All you have to do, put your sand into the bucket, shove the hose head right down into the sand, and as you can see, the finer stuff is getting kicked up. Now if you don't do this, as soon as you add water to the tank after adding the substrate, it's going to be cloudy for probably up to about a day. So doing this before adding the sand should stop all that happening. Now I'm going to let this go on probably for another hour until the water in the bucket is running completely clear. Then I know that I removed as much as I can of all the finer stuff that will be floating around in the tank, causing the tank to cloud up. I'll put a picture on the screen of the actual product, the sand that I've used, and in the next bit we'll talk about what type of rocks I'm going to be using in the tank. Okay, so for the rocks I'm going to be using are these 4 here. I might be able to fit all 4 of them into the tank with it only being 2 foot big, and these rocks are quite large. As you can see, they're a bit bigger than my hand. I'm not 100% sure what type of rock they are, but I know they're suitable for any African cichlid. Okay, so these are the shells that I'm going to be using in the tank. Obviously these shells are not from Lake Tanganyika. I have found a source for some shells from Lake Tanganyika, but they're going to be probably here in the next week, 2 weeks. These large land snail empty shells, obviously, and I got them off eBay, and I'll put a link in the description so you guys can probably have a look at them as well if you want something like this. They're pretty cool looking, and they are really big. Now when it comes to picking shells that are adequate for shell dwellers, just make sure that the actual opening to the shells are large enough for them to get into. Anything over about 1.5 inches will be fine. Even though these are probably being cleaned beforehand, I still place them in boiling hot water just to make sure that any chemicals that's been used to basically clean the shells or any debris that was left inside it is all gone. So I think they'll make a good addition, and I hope the shellies will like them, and I can't wait to get them in the tank. Okay, so let's look at some of the products that I used actually to put inside the water in the tank. Now the shell dwellers that I have bought, I'll put the name on the screen now of what they are again. They are tank bred, so they are kept in water parameters around about 8 pH. Now when you buy fish, depending on where you get them from, always talk to the person you're buying it from and ask what water parameters they've been kept in. Now Lake Tanganyikans, they like water, the pH to be around about 9, probably a bit higher than 9. So you're probably thinking, why have I got Malawi Victoria buffer? Well, this maxes out, as you can see right there, at 8.4. So what I'll be doing is gradually increasing the pH in the tank until the fish actually get used to it, and then obviously I can go out and I can buy the Tanganyikan buffer from Cichlid, which will then increase the pH of the water up to 9 and probably a bit up more than that as well. So with this product, even though the fish that I bought have been kept in 8 pH, I'm going to be adding this gradually. There is directions how to use it on the back, so make sure you follow them if you're going to use Cichlid products. Now this is Cichlid lake salt. This is basically trace elements from the actual lake, and it's really good for promoting health in the fish, and it just puts stuff into the water that you wouldn't really find in normal everyday tap water. So that is something definitely that I've added to the tank, and because they probably haven't been used to it beforehand, I'm basically halving the amount that it says on the back, and then over the next week I'll just gradually add more and more. Now this is another product that I use in all my tanks actually. This is Clarity, and it just basically makes the water nice and crystal clear. Another good product from Cichlid, and obviously the instructions are there at the back. Now these are just some of the stuff that I use. I also use a dechlorinator as well. The dechlorinator that I use is Tetra Pond dechlorinator. It can do like 9,000 litres. To me, a dechlorinator does the same thing, doesn't matter who's made it. So yeah, anyway guys, that's the stuff that I'm going to be adding to my water. Okay, so the tank's back in place after I painted the back. Now because I showed you guys how to paint a fish tank's background in my how to set up an African Cichlid tank, I didn't want to basically go through the whole process again. So the products that I used was a roller. It's a sponge roller that you use for rolling, say, flat doors or flat surfaces. And then I used a paint called B&Q Jet Black Matte. Now, depending on what paint you want to use, it's completely up to you. Just make sure if you're painting in an environment that has open top fish tanks, make sure you try and seal them off, or make sure you have plenty of ventilation in the room. Now, what I'm going to be doing, you won't see this process, but I've already done this, but I'll tell you guys what I've done. I made sure when I first received the tank that everything was leveled off, the floor, the cabinet, and then the tank. Once that's all leveled off, then I added filled the tank up halfway, And then what I can do from that, I can see if there's any adjustments being made because of the water being added, the added weight to the tank basically. Then I waited for about 5 or 6 hours, come back and checked it. You could leave it even longer, maybe overnight. But then I added more, so it was 3/4 of the tank full, make sure everything was still, completely leveled off. The tank was leveled off, the cabinet itself was leveled off. So I know that one, the tank is actual, water safe, and it's completely level. Some say within probably up to a centimetre being off gradually might be okay. Anything over a centimetre, anything like that, if it's not completely leveled off, by all means make sure that you do level off the cabinet first, and then make sure the tank's also leveled off. So now everything's all ready for me to start hardscaping the tank. That's the next section is going to be. I'll try and get a nice close up because the tank's so pretty small, and the area that I'm going to be working in is quite cramped. I'll do my best to make sure you can see the whole process. So what I'm going to be doing first is placing the rocks in straight onto the glass. Now, some of you might be panicking that I'm adding it straight to the glass, but don't worry about it. These tanks can withstand quite a lot of weight. When you're placing it into the actual tank, make sure that you're not placing it on these sharp edges. You can use egg crate, or you can get a piece of acrylic cut to lay on the bottom, but I've never bothered with it, and I've never had any problems. Another reason why I'm placing the rock straight onto the glass instead of adding the sand first is because most African cichlids will dig. Now, if I basically put the substrate in quite deep and then just place the rocks on top, what could happen is the shell dwellers might dig around the rock, causing the rocks to tumble over, and that could damage the tank. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play about, probably speed this section up whilst I'm adding the rocks, just to get a feel of the tank, see if I like it or not, and then get to feel, see if I like the hardscape. I might move the rocks around a little bit, and then at the end I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so as you can see behind me, basically the tank is all finished and all set up. I cut the hardscaping section down quite a lot. It took me around about an hour until I was completely happy with the placement of the rocks and the shells and everything like that. But when it comes to setting up a tank, it's should be enjoyable, but also you've got to try and make sure that it's practical and it's basically to the fish's needs. So with this being a shell dwelling tank, I needed to make sure there's spaces for the shells to go, open spaces for those guys to sort of move sand around as much as anything. There's a few people that I want to thank that helped me out, to get the stuff and everything for this video. I got the fish from a place called Tyne Aquatics, so I want to thank Richard and the guys over there. You guys might know Richard. His username on YouTube is called Ponguru. He's also a YouTube partner. I'll put his link up on the screen now so you can check out his channel. He does all types of videos, so please click on it. It'll go open up another page. You can go and check out his videos. Definitely worth subscribing to. He's got some really good videos on there. Also, I want to thank Allpondsolutions. I had a few problems along the way, and they helped me out sort out, some the products and stuff like that. So big thanks to them. Now, when it comes to setting up a tank, like I mentioned before, it should be enjoyable as well. But for me, I'm trying to make a video also enjoyable for myself, but also I have to try and remember to record each and every step of the way, so it gives you guys something to look at and maybe to follow. Like, when I do these type of videos, it's only the way that I do things. There's always a different way of doing that, different way of doing this. So just treat my videos as sort of a stepping stone. You know, I don't always say, I don't come out there and say, look, do it this way, do it that way. You know, I know everything. I don't know everything. I learn something new every single day, just probably like you guys do as well. So it's quite hard for me to set a tank up and really enjoy the whole process, because I have to remember to record each process and stuff. But hopefully these type of videos help you guys out, and what I would really appreciate, what you guys can do for me, if you enjoyed the video, you know, give it a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel personally, but it also helps grow the African Cichlid Hub community. And what I mean by that is we have a forum now with almost 500 members, which is amazing, basically just over 3 months. Now, if you haven't joined the forum, please do. The link's in the description. It's also on my channel. Each month we run a competition, probably the biggest photo of the month competition on any aquatic forum out there. Our prizes probably average around about £200 in total every month, and all you have to do is just enter a picture just to be in there. Also, the forum has a lot of experienced people on there that can help you out with questions. It's very hard for me to answer everyone's questions in great detail, you know, with having, you know, over 4,500 subscribers and a Facebook page, a website and stuff. I do try my very best to help you guys out as much as possible, but please don't hold it against me if I can't answer your questions straight away. I always try and get back to you as soon as I can. Now, don't go anywhere, because obviously I want to show you a close-up of the tank. And like as always, guys, I hope you enjoy my videos. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you stick around for many more videos to come.